Hi, everyone. So I'm here today to pitch I Lie to Myself, a feature film that I had written maybe about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point. Um, but I felt like it was the best one to pitch for this class. So here we go. When 21-year-old Russell is first introduced to the concept of love, it enlightens him into a world of self care that he's never known before. However, when his first love breaks his heart, he spirals into a hole he may never get out of. So this is clearly a romance slash drama kind of film. It runs for about the runtime, I believe, is about 107 pages, so 107 minutes. Um, it's more of like a dark, loving, deep thought, harsh truth kind of tone. So it's a lot of things that people don't like to talk about that is talked about in this film, especially focused on the young adult era, the young adult core, people that know they have a lot going on with themselves, know they have a lot of issues, know that they have a lot of things in life that they're confused about and don't have a grip on yet. And uh, this is what the story focuses on, people such as that. And it would be rated R just because of some nudity scenes and some drug use scenes that are throughout the film. Um, the setting slash the time frame would be set in modern day, so it'd be like modern day Chicago. Honestly, it could be set within 2020, 2021, 2018, 2019, 2017, 2016. Doesn't really matter. Um, so long as it is modern day Chicago, modern day life, modern day America. Just the average that you see, like for the average person that just goes through their own kind of life. It also will be based in suburbia, modern day suburbia as well, and bounce back and forth between these two worlds, uh, just to showcase the differences of the worlds that people live in, and I guess even a showcase the middle classes story, the young middle classes story, and the kind of worlds that they get lost into. With being a suburban person and then being a city person. Um, the main characters. So I'm only doing two of the main characters, even though there are some side characters in this. The two main characters are Russell, who is in love with Candace when he meets her, but is unknowing of it. While growing into his own person, he loses a lot of who he is in Candace when he's with her. And through a lot of risky situations, along with poorly thought out decisions, Russell grows up through this film with a chip on his shoulder and a rehab center moments away. Uh, for Candace, however, she's a very charismatic character who pushes the story for Russell. She's very independent and does whatever she likes, no matter how it makes anyone else feel. She's all about herself and what makes her happy. And though she cares about so many people around her, she won't let anyone who tells her they love her hold her away from whatever she truly desires. In other words, no man can claim her, and that's just the way she likes it. Which I think is really powerful, a very powerful trait for a character, especially in times where you have the concept of the male gaze and everything like that. Candace tries to be a character that tends to stem away from the male gaze to the best of my ability. Um, for casting, uh, I we have Caleb. Oh, for casting, we have Caleb McLaughlin, that I felt would be perfect for Russell. A young, innocent looking kid who is just figuring out who he is and that can portray a role well in a suburbia setting as well as a city setting too. We've seen that through Stranger Things and everything like that. And I think that, playing in the city, he could definitely do that as well. He is just how I envisioned Russell to be a young and stupid kid. And and I think that Caleb would put a perfect spin to him as a character, as an actor, that could take on a dark concept like a drug overdose or parting with the wrong crowd. And hopefully he would be able to display that kind of side of Russell and that kind of side of his life. I feel like that would be the perfect person to do so. And then Haley Bailey will also be a perfect fit for Candace because she is already such an independent artist herself, with roles like The Little Mermaid coming up for her. She can showcase a true independent young woman who just wants to have her own brand of fun and refuses to be tied down by anyone. I also feel like they're both young black actors, and that's why I envisioned for this entire film to have just a bunch of young black actors. Well, for it to be a multiracial cast, but the two leads being young black actors and actresses. That's why I definitely envision. Um, Act one. So for the first act, Russell and company meet Lauren and Candace. Lauren being Candace's best friend and only a side character, which is why she wasn't important enough to mention. Russell is immediately interested, but tries to deny any feelings he may have because he just met Candace. Russell convinces Candace to go on a date with him after being rejected the first time. And so it's taken him a while to be able to convince her that, hey, I want to be with you. And they and she plays hard to get. Which is exactly how to be able to just fall so easily into the ploy of the plot, but to be able to make Russell want to chase after something more. Candace and Russell start to learn more about each other after about each other's dreams, and after a while, Russell's willingness to want to be a writer and poetry and the kind of he wants to be a poet is what his story is. He wants to be a true poet, and he's learning more and more about that poetry through Candace and what he likes to write about through Candace, thanks to Candace, because she becomes a lot of inspiration for him, which again is also going with the theme of the male gaze that I thought that I love to talk about because, and with the male gaze, people like to say that, poetry is especially a big place where men like to write ideas of what women are. And I think that's exactly who Russell is, a man that wants to write an idea of who Candace is, but not actually about who Candace is. Uh, Russell realizes later on that he wants to date Candace, but she ends up breaking things off with him out of nowhere due to not feeling the same way. And I wanted that to be I wanted that to happen because it's the perfect explanation of who Candace is as a character. Of I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you any explanations as a man, as a woman. I want to just be able to do whatever I like. Continuing on to Act Two, Russell begins to explore the use of alcohol. At first, it is for fun and drinking and partying, but it soon becomes a prevalent issue in his life. Um, Russell believes that he can try to work his way back into Candace's heart and become lovers once again, but has a rude awakening when he sees Candace has already started to move on. She's already started to talk to other people. She's not even thinking about him in that way any longer. Russell slips into a depression when he finds out Candace has a new boyfriend, which puts him down for a pretty long time. Um, Candace tries to reconcile with Russell, urging him to do better for himself and to forget about her, though she admits to still having some kind of feelings for him as well. But she wants to majority of the time she wants to carry on a friendship with Russell, and that's what she's thinking about most out of anything. Russell ends up meeting Eddie, a drug dealer, and Carl's cousin. Carl is a side character as well, friends of Russell, and a guy that just parties a lot. And Russell ends up meeting Eddie around the same time that he's starting to slip away into depression and having a lot of self hatred and a lot of self doubt. Um, and Russell begins to hang out with the wrong crowd, losing his job and dropping out of college all at the same time due to his increased alcohol and drug intake. So we start to see the spiral of Russell really come out in this act. We see that he's clearly going through a lot of traumatic issues inside of himself, battling a lot of things inside of himself, especially because he just can't get a grip on the fact that he lost someone that he would consider that he loves. Um, Russell tries one final time to get back with Candace, but ends up coming up short when he finally meets her new boyfriend, realizing that, hey, she's truly moved on and he has to let go, and he doesn't know how to let go of that. But he knows, but that's what the film shows, that he has no other choice but to let go now because she has moved on now, and now she really won't let him back in. Even after he tries to reach out to her multiple times to speak about it. And this leads to Russell becoming extremely drunk, extremely under the influence of all kinds of drugs. I know he gets into a lot of Lexapro. He gets into a lot of antidepressant drugs like Lexapro, like Xanax for anxiety and everything like that, while also drinking. So Russell gets into serious drug abuse regions. And that's when he gets into a car crash and ends up getting a DUI. In Act 3, Russell cuts off his original friend group and any ties he has to Candace because he wants to be able to forget about her. He takes a more immature route, so we see the more and more of Russell not, he's coming more and more down on who he is as a person. Russell continues to hang out with the wrong crowd, leading him to try new drugs and increase his alcohol intake, doing things like he also starts to devil into things like cocaine along with mixing the pills, and he starts to just mix a bunch of drugs together. He has an overdose episode nearly killing him at a party that he was with Eddie. And so his original friends like Carl and Malcolm and Candace and Lauren, they're not there anymore for him. So he's all by himself finally. Now this is where he has his biggest test. Russell is then forced into rehab because he has the aftermath of not only the DUI, but having to get rushed to the hospital for a drug overdose and everything like that. Now he's having the falling out of everything. Now everything is coming together for him in a sense, because now he's forced into rehab and he has to learn who he is and what he values in himself before he continues to lose himself in Candace and the relationship that he thinks is healthy for him and is right for him in Candace, knowing that it's not actually. Russell ends up getting clean from drugs and alcohol. He enrolls back into school, and though he still has his struggles with his failed relationship, I should say, that he had with Candace, he realizes that it's his life choices that will only affect him, and that's what brings him into the realization that only he can hurt himself, only he can truly help himself, only he can truly save himself. And that's the kind of character Russell wants to be. That's the kind of character he wants to know that he does have control over himself and that it's not, and he wants to stop blaming Candace. He wants to stop blaming the failed relationship for why he has done everything that he has done and why he's gone through everything he's gone through. The set pieces that I wanted to really involve into the trailer and everything like that would be crazy montages of Russell partying and going out with friends. I wanted to see his overdose moments, just like moments of him sweaty in the bathroom on the floor and everything like that when he was going through a lot of hallucinations. I wanted to show Candace and Russell spending time together throughout the city, throughout staying in each other's apartments, throughout staying with each other in the suburbs, going to parties. And I also wanted Russell and Candace arguing in their favorite spot in the city, which would be this park right here in the bottom right corner, a spot that they tend to go to and love, and they brought and made a huge impact on each other. And then I went Russell sitting lonely in his apartment with cigarette and alcohol and him just smoking, just showing a lot of the disparity and a lot of the loneliness that he truly has engulfed throughout the film. And those would be the things that I think would be great set pieces for and great storytelling for the trailer. It'll just give the crowd a lot to look forward to, knowing what kind of story this would be. And that's all I have. Thank you, and have a good day.